Ladies and gentlemen, please fasten your seatbelts. Belts, since I'll be revealing the impression that the Kardashians are community theater drama captured on VHS. Yes, the renowned rapper T is the father of King Harris through an emotional bomb that was insane. Admirers were clutching their pearls because it was terrible. Crying in the comments section and wondering if life is actually a gambling soap. Drama. Opera. We are talking about his paper Ted Fanol farewell. Additionally, Zizan won most of the influencers I often follow, taking little breaks for self-care and then coming back to encourage. Detox teasing 2 days later, it was unfiltered. It weighed a lot. So, Intensi thought, even Netflix's founders were probably whispered, how Dow turned the pain of this man into a limited series. Can you picture it? Doctors rushing in, family members, and admirers holding back their tears, silently becoming mad, and inquiring, is this sincere? Although Twitter altered through whole event into a circus of memes through the night. If Shakespeare were alive today now, he would probably reply, even he couldn't think up such a complicated scheme. But trust me, once you hear the entire story, you'll realize that this wasn't merely a farewell. This particular disease was the kind that feeds tabloids, keeps bloggers up at night, and compels your curious relative to forward the link enclosed with 7 exclamation points. Theon the internet. Controversy erupted. Enjoying a cookout with relatives. Harris Kingle ready, well known for anarchy. Rap royalty. Memes-worthy chaos and meltdowns were found putting oneself at the center of what advocates. Farewell circus was quickly called. It is configured as follows. King already comes to light. Goes public with a farewell that appeared to be a mix of admission and Shakespearean tragedy mixed with wear-tiring speech. There are 3 sections I know. Welcome to King Harris math. Though when reality is divided, multiplied, they turned into memes in quick time. When the reports arrived, doctors were involved, family members were rushing, and there was more tension in the room. Not like a diss song by Drake and Kendrick, he collapsed. According to some, while others swore it was established in order to acquire power. And naturally, those self-described expert in the internet surfaced. Diagnosing him on Twitter, Instagram is a living, breathing entity. We're attending the auditions for Grey's Anatomy. The first disclosures showed a scenario that was depressed, chaotic, and, to be honest, a little darkly comical. Advocates were shouting as he said, "Don't go, King," to revitalize TMZ. A few candles were put on TikTok. Other folks were already editing dramatic farewell scenes with melancholy piano music. Next came the cacophonous minority of doubters who asked, wait, is for the Harris family? This is just another publicity gimmick, stunt. Let's be honest. The Harris clan has a reputation for something, from reality TV explosives to instantly broadcast chaos. Their family drama is more captivating than Thanksgiving baked mac and cheese with rumors. Consequently, when King announced his following the final farewell, fans were split. Should they grab popcorn or cry? Then came Felix. According to sources and B sources that instance, your cousin's friend Barber, who says that he saw it happen. King had written sincere letters that said it's more like a Hollywood script than real life. These kinds of lines that make you depart. Did Shakespeare ghost write this? Online fans claimed that the ambience was half hospital scene, half reality TV confessional. Tiny T, his relatives, and everyone was reportedly keeping it together, like duct tape on a broken chair. Then doctors rushed in, and then suddenly it turned into a total cliffhanger. But here's the twist. The public at large disagreed about what they were observing. Was that a valid medical operation? Crisis? An emotional collapse? Or the next twist in the Love and Hip Hop plot spinoff? And honestly, that's exactly why. This particular moment got popular online, the uncertainty. One set of individuals promised they saw sincere distress in his eyes, while another claimed to be teasing a new track. The meme Final Farewell remix, stolen. Filing. More quickly than Kris Jenner trots of a grandchild who is just arrived, someone even changed. King Harris to show up on the fans, waving goodbye on the Titanic Don't Let Go. It's time to talk about the first reactions. Apologies, Twitter, Xbot. Come on, nobody calls it. That went into full-blown meltdown mode. Hashtags like #PrayerForKing and #FinalFarewell gained popularity. Ovira feud between Cardi and Nicki on Twitter. Tikan Toke fans were sobbing and making a disco remix out of his farewell challenges. YouTubers were already publishing fake recordings of emotional reactions with attention-grabbing titles, like I believe King did this. Even well-known individuals scowled, resist jumping in. Some sent love and prayers. A few joked. One rapper who made the wise decision to stay unmolested. The farewell of this man got more plays compared to my last mixtape. Savage. But let's unwind for a bit. Furthermore, King Harris has continuously lived in chows. From flaming to live stream battles clapbacks that sound professional, he has written on controversy before. There. He feels at ease. Thus the idea that he might have made this up or overstated it. Not that shocking. But things start to become interesting at this point. Even the doubters admitted that the sensation Hittite was different this time. His voice cracked. His family and the hospital are in a panic. Backdrop. It appeared not to have been practiced. Filters, no PR glitz, simply messy and unrefined reality. Consequently, fans couldn't turn away. The situation got much trickier when there were rumors that this wasn't routinely regarding health or drama. Some implied it was related to past conflicts, internal disputes, and the crippling power of Imagine coming from a hip-hop aristocratic family. T.I.'s childhood shadow, trying to preserve the Harris heritage at any costs, turns into a meme that spreads widely. That's enough to break anyone, though. As a result, when the purported final farewell was released by fans, were split between dejection and doubt. Did King say goodbye to life, or just to the earlier version of himself? A plea for harmony, a change in public relations. Anyway, the internet took off. Instagram Live, TikTok embroidery, YouTube in-depth analyses. Suddenly learn more about King's psychological condition. If the initial segment was a test run for a turbulent drama on HBO, then the mid-season turn of circumstances was unexpected. Don't bother trying to follow the Kardashians after King Harris. He became the news spectator sport was not the internet. Watching eating up every pixel image, along with wobbly rebel vultures during a celebrity cookout. Let's face it, nothing spreads faster rather than a celebrity breakdown wrapped in puzzle. Let's begin by discussing the meme. King said goodbye just a few hours after everywhere. His last over the Avengers Endgame picture, Simba, was replaced by another, who wept over King's face in a captioned Mufasa, "Don't go." King, if you're currently on X or Twitter, Ilan and Delusional turned a situation into a complete comedic festivity. Tragedy and sarcasm collided harder than Kanye during an awards ceremony. Prepare for the reactions of the celebrities. Few famous people went all Hallmark, publishing prayers with glitter, filter sand, angel emojis. Others are less kind. Bowie never managed to hold back. Apparently huckled while live streaming. Dude, everything is taken at face value by you all. That the boy is probably making a diss track. Backstage at the time, fans made fun of him, but wondered in silence if he was right. Meanwhile, some astute rappers discovered a free promotion, took advantage of it, and sent a tweet. For instance, King Harris got y'all emotional, but go now while you can. Listen to my latest song, which is sly but witty. Advertising. Of course. The Harris family's detractors hurried away. It was like Christmas morning. Tell me, all he wants is attention. Shouted, intercutting his leaving moments. Considering earlier interviews where he to Ted in relation to clout. At that moment, was this an appeal for help or a make a helpline call? But the biggest it was startling when fans started to analyze it in his own words. Leaked screenshots of King included poetic words in his messages concerning load, heritage, and betrayal of his surname. And right away, among the outrageous allegations were those that he was slandering his father. Some claim naturally it made reference to industrial meat. Naturally, the most well-known demographic on the internet. There were conspiracy theorists saying he was exposing the ugliest parts of hip-hop. Apparently, when a well-known individual sneezes, the Illuminati receive shelled responsible. The partying wasn't just a goodbye. It evolved into a completely worked digital infestation. Take CSI Instagram as an example. Episode featuring investigators who are unfamiliar with the fans walked out of their bedrooms, slowing down clips sequentially as though they were interpreting the JFK video. Look at high size. 3 blinks is the Morse code, requesting help. Utter madness. And just when things couldn't get much stranger, the hospital's twist. There were rumors King Harris was hurriedly brought to them at farewell. The ER sends the internet. TMZ went into meltdown mode for DEFCON 1. Pictures of ambulances in parking lots. Blurry. Blogs that are unrelated and have names like hiphop diva _42 purportedly. Exclusive leaks from nurses. It said in the headline, doctors rush to save King Harris, fans fear the worst. But even worse, the hospital asserted that they seen him using his phone and giggling. The story starts a few minutes later, flipped faster than a pancake at IHOP. Was he just protecting himself or troll the entire internet? Enter the accounts. Let the mayhem start. TikTok's toke parodies proliferate. Users reenacting hospital situations using fake oxygen masks and subtitles such as POV, you're the farewell of King Harris, but also getting ready for your next YouTube mixtape watching. Gossip channels took up hours, using each rumor as though it were free Wi-Fi. While waiting, King Harris adopted the same strategy as Clout and Oscar worthy. And while supporters argued what between the actual and the manufactured, the Harris everything was made 10 by the family's silence. Times worse. Because internet silence is exhaustive embarrassment instead than privacy, further destabilized the situation. Other celebrities began to make derogatory comments without bringing up names. Someone posted on Twitter, "Clout is the most dangerous material." Someone else shared a gloomy black and white selfie with as it appears. A single tear emoji. People all throughout the world say that I concern. But I also need to be involved. King Harris wasn't merely a popular topic. He was a cultural. The earthquake had jumped his farewell. Good morning. CNN's hip-hop blogs. Americans are asking their anchors, who is? Why are King Harris and the internet both weeping and laughing? And then there did the enthusiastic fans have a core commitment. Like relatives, they wrote to defend him, arranging TikTok with candles and introducing alphabetic toke vigils, such as the establishment of GoFundMe pages that have the title Save King Harris. Remember that no one really knew what they were gathering money for? The rationale had officially left the conversation when the chaos started, the point at which audio leaks allegedly showed up. King's voice said, "When I'm around, you guys don't care. But you'll notice when I leave." Boom. Mike fans were in. And the internet was exploding and dropping. Critics wept and rolled their eyes. No word from the Harris family, yet it appeared to be a change from keeping up with the Kardashians on House of Stacey's. I'm like, cards and an article about the retirement of WWE fans. We're exhausted, confused, and completely addicted. But this is the harsh truth. No one else was able to do what King Harris did. Could in his lane. And he assumed command of the internet. During a period when scandals vanish within a day, his farewell turned into a tale that would endure an ending loop of memes, theories, outrage, as well as emotional breakdowns. The scariest part? Nobody knew for sure if it was truly over as fans started to argue and wipe away their tears. His sincerity, rumors began that final leaving was not the end. Rather, it was the beginning of something bigger: reduction, a more serious scandal, and a more significant legacy move. What if a hurricane occurred during the second phase? The fallout ensued, but not calm and peace. It appeared as though the internet was scavenging and abandoned the debris for the sexiest gossip might find. King Harris's final farewell altered. As opposed to merely stopping the trend, it evolved and permeated every area like the contentious version of a zombie apocalypse. The first Dan aftershock occurred when the Harris family liminally broke their quiet, but instead of a persuasive public relations declaration. Strange half-sentences were given to fans and then deleted tweets and one suspicious Instagram message history. A single Bible verse and a candle emoji. A traditional and no context was the internet the cause of the chaos. Confirmation, rejection, or just a clever move way to keep the suspense high. Critics are ponder blades. YouTube commentators, late-night podcasters also charged it said that the Harris dynasty took advantage of tragedy. One commentator compared it to Monopoly. Money in the bank for attention. Another, if Shakespeare wrote clout, declares this would be Chase Play's fifth act. When you say, but here's the gag. Savage thought King Harris was deteriorating, scheming, or just providing the monster sign. One element stayed the same. The fans were already emotionally damaged. Who wept uncontrollably, felt extremely worn out, betrayed. The skeptics who ridiculed him seemed uncaring suddenly, if that. The fear was genuine. The difference between reality and nevertheless. The performance was so unclear that even experienced gossip writers were honest. I can't decide whether to laugh, cry, or merely make a thumbnail. Then Theffin backlash, with thousands declaring they were done with him for good. His socials bursting with emoticons for anger and unfollowing Zentinton farewell films and writings. But paradoxically, in the middle of all that anger caused his statistics to soar. Stresky Rakatit. His name dominated Google Trends. Every single reply video, blog post, and member at him closer to the spotlight. Purportedly wanted to go. That it was reject him. The paradox of modern-day fame, his condition only improves. Behind Thesens, it was claimed that Linka Geist to spread the news that Tiny and Tiwar debating how to handle. There were rumors that King's Storm siblings felt left out after witnessing his chaos swept through the entire Harris spotlight. As reported by Business Insiders, the labels were trying to prevent contact, not because of his incapacity, but because Heidi was a living example of his radioactive transformation. Even unfavorable press can be amazing promotion. And then the strangest thing happened. People realized this was more than simply not King Harris anymore. His purported farewell had kindled a bigger fire. Suddenly, everyone was talking about the toxic relationship between celebrities and mental health. In addition to the ongoing quest for it was talked about on talk shows and received attention online. Think pieces examined it. Headlines asked, are we to blame for King Harris's collapse? Furthermore, the internet didn't like it always does. It devoured another, a well-known individual still alive. But just before the storm, King Harris started to relax, returned alive, confident, and done repentantly conceded. His coming back, a live stream, of course. But what is meant by a farewell narrative? If you're refrained from being a rapper Messiah. Live on Instagram. Advocates expected a sincere apologies or, at minimum, an explanation. Instead, King smiled, jokingly claimed to be the most well-liked patient ever at the hospital, and hinted at a new song called Q Global Meltdown. Supporters who were cheering him on called him outstanding. He made advantage of the internet ass chess. Critics were incensed, accusing him of empathize with clout, and the others, we were too distracted by funny memes. Comparing him to the death faking of Tupac. The rippling effect was insane. Late at night, brands dropped Sly after the hosts pummeled him. Allusions to his commercials and goodbye. Rappers slung shade and called him derogatory names. Clout, Messiah, and King, goodbye. His name came as shorthand for performing the absolute most. But this is the crazy truth. Love King Harris, whether you like him or not, had transformed him overnight. Yesterday, he was only T's dramatized son. Now he was a mess worthy of a headline. The world-stopping magnet scrolling. From background noise to breaking, from a little-known name to supporters of a brand. You couldn't overlook under what might come next? If that was the farewell, what's the sequel? A diss track? Or a twisted realitisplay? Final, a Netflix documentary, the story of King Harris is concluded. Numerous choices were available. And a little scary because this is the truth. Instead of ending, the scandal evolved into Act 2. Even though his reputation might suffer, his sky of significance. And in the ruthless, the game of fame is all that matters. If King's resignation was real request for help, a carefully thought out stunt, or one item's location in the center indisputable. He carried out the internet, took notice of him. He made us fight, laugh, and post memes. Like it was vital to our existence. Additionally, my friendships are the real legacy. A dot. That's all. The purportedly last saying goodbye to King Harris it wasn't really goodbye to the catastrophe. Changed to become a meme generator. The disastrous Super Bowl that made it the halftime show is akin to a school play. But let's be honest, you didn't watch whole tale because you were worried in relation to his health. You looked out for the upheaval, the dispute, and the psychological whiffle. In addition to the sheer joy of looking toward a final collapse into one hookah of the wildest plot twists since Game of Thrones fell short. Let's now deal. If you chuckled, gasped, or even taken a sidelong glance in the midst of this chaos, click like as though you were entitled to it. Cash, smash. Like King Harris, subscribes ruin the internet. And don't just feel free to look around. Put your theories aside and comments. Did this really fall apart or the best performance of the decade? I read as hot as the tea they're sipping. Grandma gave daughter Thanksgiving stuffing, and remember that there is yet hope tomorrow. Next week, next month, and more controversies are in the making where the first landing will occur. In this case, where we examine play in greater detail than it's time to consult. It's a Kardashian divorce lawyer. Those warnings activated. Because of the neither do we sleep in the middle of commotion? Controversies occur on Expose Express, never die. Celebrities pretend to be look. Additionally, you're seated in the front row Tovery tantrum and return the last clap. The never-ending farewell. Up until remain dirty, ask questions, and watch out because the impending scandal ice-loaded already.